Hi, everyone. My name is Margaret. I'm teaching faculty at the Atlas Institute at the University of Colorado Boulder, and I'm interested in the impacts of social media on the mental health and well-being of our young people. Today, I'm going to talk to you about those facts, the impacts, and our proposed solution. We all know social media is designed to be addictive. These companies extract attention, manufacture outrage, and this has consequences on our young people. Our social media environment is broken. But we're committed to creating change through education, empowering young people with the agency and resilience required to thrive in this modern media environment so that they can engage with these powerful platforms in ways that align with their health and well-being. The average teen spends over 7 hours on a screen every day, and that doesn't include time spent on school or homework. This extends to tweens, age 11 and 12, 70% of whom own a smartphone. In that population, they spend almost 5 hours a day on their screen. Social media companies who've built an economy based on the extraction and consumption of attention is not okay. Why is this happening? Answering this question is critical for understanding how to make change. I want to be abundantly clear that this is not the kids' fault. This is not the parents' fault. These platforms are designed to be addictive. So much so that 78% of teens check their devices at least once an hour. And of those, half of them self-report that they feel addicted to their phone. We can see the underlying intention of these tech companies when we examine the language they use. There are only two industries that call their customers users: illegal drugs and software. We can also see the impact of this when we look at the emotions that dominate our social media environment. They've done studies determining which emotions travel farthest, which are viral. Anger is the emotion that travels the farthest. And as a result, posts that induce outrage dominate this environment. Social media manufactures and sells outrage. And we need to develop healthy practices to resist this toxic media landscape. There's pressure to prioritize engagement and growth in these tech companies. And so they've created a race for human attention that's unleashed invisible harms on society. When we look at depression, for every increased hour spent using social media, teens show a 2% increase in depressive symptoms. And so you might say, 2%, that's nothing, no big deal. However, this is a longitudinal study of thousands of adolescents, and it showed a predictive measure where an increase in time spent on social media was predictive of depression. This is different from the plethora of studies that exist showing a correlation between social media use, anxiety, and depression. This is impacting body image. The culture of Instagram focuses on curating perfect images, so it's no wonder that our young people are being led down paths of extremism in many forms, whether that's disordered eating or ideology. It's gotten so bad in the recent years that there's a quadrupling in the number of plastic surgeons with patients who want cosmetic surgery to look good on social media. Snapchat dysmorphia is a psychological disorder in which people want to change their looks to look more like their Snapchat filter. This is particularly prevalent in teenagers. When we look at cyberbullying, those who've been cyberbullied are 3 times more likely to contemplate suicide. Self-harm, this is data taken from the CDC. Our young girls aged 10 to 14 see a 189% increase in self-harm. We look at the graph since 2009. This is correlative data, but this is the year that social media became available on mobile devices. We see the same thing with suicide. Our young women aged 10 to 14 have a 151% increase in suicide rate since 2009. And there's research released from Facebook's own internal data that among teenagers who had suicidal thoughts, 6% of Americans could trace those thoughts to Instagram. And again, here's an example. You might say 6%, no big deal. But this is only the teenagers who are electing to respond to the survey, self-report data, and who have the awareness necessary to trace the connection between their media consumption on Instagram and their thought patterns. That's a skill I believe we can improve. Our children are not users. Our young people deserve to understand how these social media companies manipulate their attention and how this impacts their mental health. We're all aware of the problems, and I'm also proposing solutions. So please join us in making change, making an impact through education, through practices, through self-reflection. My team and I are launching a digital wellness summer program for middle school students coming this summer, 2022, and focus groups are happening right now. Our program focuses on the value of education. Knowledge is power. If we give our youth the education in cognitive science and psychology they need to understand addictive design before they're hooked, they can make healthy choices. We're focused on practice, cultivating mindfulness, the skills they need for attentional control, for emotional resilience, to resist the constant extractive environment they exist in. And self-reflection, so that young people can develop personalized, individual healthy media habits to increase the awareness of the relationship between their media consumption and how they feel. And this has to be individualized, right? Some people can eat gluten, some people can't. Some people can eat dairy, some people can't. It's the same thing with media. So this isn't prescriptive. We're not going to tell young people what they should or shouldn't do. We just want to help them have the tools they need so that they can make choices that are healthy for them. So we're recruiting focus group participants age 11 to 15. It's flexible scheduling now through February of 2022. There's a $50 gift card for each participant. And if you're not in that age group but are still interested in joining us in this cause, we're looking for community partners, educators, parents, community members. Help us educate and spread awareness and positively impact our young people. You can find me here, anniemargaret.com. And if you have any questions or concerns or want to join us in this effort, please reach out to me, Annie@colorado.edu. Thank you so much. See you next time.